Hello there everybody, welcome back, and of course being the end of the year, I like to do the annual tradition of the movies I've seen of said year, worst to first, which is a long running thing going on a couple years now that it sums up everything I've seen in the year, and I just like to rank them. Now, this year is a lot easier than 2019 because I believe 2019 was my record year at over 50 movies in a year. This isn't that bad though, it's just 20, but still I don't want this video to be so long, so let's just get right into it. So, the absolute bottom of the barrel trash at number 20 for this year is Halloween Kills. To keep it frank with you, this movie, the only thing it has going for it is the brutal kills, and it looks kind of cool. Everything else is horrible. The characters don't act right, they just act stupid. The people make dumb decision after dumb decision, which I get is a thing in horror movies, but in this point it just became ridiculous. A lot of the editing and the finale, like the ending of this movie, is so abrupt and so garbage. It just baffled me that this was a big budget studio movie that they dared to release and expect you to pay money for it. Then again, it was released on streaming as well at no extra cost, I believe, but still, this was just such a bad movie. I can't. At number 19, we have Black Widow. Yes, Black Widow ended up being one of the worst Marvel movies ever made, up there with the likes of The Incredible Hulk and Avengers Age of Ultron, in my eyes. And I basically like to call it filler the movie, because this movie did not need to be made. They only made it because I believe Scarlett Johansson wanted her own movie, since she's been a side character for so long and she wanted something out of it since she was on her way out of the universe, especially after Endgame. But the movie just plays like there's nothing special about it. There's nothing that stands out. There's nothing that keeps me thinking or wants to go rewatch it. It's just one of those forgotten MCU movies, which on its own it could be considered okay. It's just the villain was forgettable. The performances I will give are good. It has that Marvel quality, but it's more of the same, and I was expecting something it to bring to the table, especially with the other three Marvel movies that came out this year, that being Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spiderman No Way Home. They brought something to the superhero genre. They brought something to the table that made it worth watching those movies. I can't say the same for Black Widow. At number 18, we have Spree 2020. Now, the only reason why I watched this is because earlier in the year I was running out, like I didn't really find stuff to really give a watch, and I saw this was on Hulu and it had that actor Joe Keery from Stranger Things who plays Steve Harrington, so I wanted to give it a watch. It's okay. It's a small little type of thriller. It just shows what someone would do for clicks on social media and to be popular and stuff, no matter what the cost. And it is kind of an interesting, fascinating look into people that are crazy that want to be popular in any way possible. And some of the kills are effective and cool, but like I said, it's just kind of forgettable. Number 17, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now this is it's not nearly as good as the other two, because the other two were so great and up there in horror, and on its own it's fine. It's just, it falls in that kind of mid category where some of the stuff in it's cool, but it kind of jumps the shark in a lot of ways, and it becomes kind of a comedy in some aspects. I wasn't really that scared of it, as I was laughing at how cringy some of it was. Number 16, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Now, going on the fact that people treat the first Space Jam like it's some Mona Lisa of cinema, where it's perfect in every way. No, that movie got bad reviews, I believe, as well, and didn't do nearly as well as people thought it did at the box office. But this film does not hold a candle to the original for many reasons, because it feels like a product placement movie where they just throw in reference after reference after reference, expecting you to be like, oh, this movie's so good. But it's okay. There were some jokes that made me laugh. I like the animation, how it went 2D, and then it turned 3D, of course. But I thought it was fine. But I don't want to like say the acting's bad, but the acting's bad. Anyways, number 15, Mortal Kombat 2021. Now, This was another video game adaptation. Many of these are horrible. This movie is sort of bad, but I had fun with it. It's just basically, there's a plot in there somewhere. It's just basically an excuse to see the cool fights and fatalities and all that. So if you're there for that, you're gonna get what you want. And as a Mortal Kombat, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, because I'm not truly into that, I suck at fighting games personally, but if you're into that stuff, I think you would get enjoyment out of this movie. Number 14, Luca. Now this is one of the sacrifices to the Disney empire from Pixar, like Soul, put straight to Disney Plus, not a theatrical run, which is unfortunate and really tragic because I think this movie could have done pretty solid if they chose to release it in theaters. But the main thing coming out of this movie is not only does the animation, of course, as every Pixar movie, looks great, but the main message that I see coming from the movie that a lot of people on Twitter and everything saw is that it's an LGBT story about yeah, so basically it's about the two boys having feelings for each other and stuff. That's what a lot of people take and interpret from it. The creator said that that wasn't the case, but that's why it became as successful online and popular as it did. But with that aside, it was still a cute little movie. Not up there with Pixar's best, I feel, but it was okay. Number 13, The Last Blockbuster. Now, this is one of those Netflix movies. It was like just a documentary, basically, on how there used to be Blockbusters everywhere before Netflix destroyed them. And there's one left that still sells physical media. And it's just become like an attraction, a tourist attraction, where people will travel literally across the globe to see this thing. And it's kind of sad for humanity, but it's also kind of entertaining nonetheless. Number 12, A Quiet Place Part 2. Way better than the first one. I thought the first one was overrated mediocrity, but this one, it was okay. Honestly, like, I probably have complaints about it. You can look at my review for it, but it actually expands upon the world, and the characters aren't as stupid as the last one. They still are stupid, don't get me wrong, but it's more endurable to sit through. Number 11, Raya and the Last Dragon. One of the sort of sacrifices where they put in theaters and $30 on Disney Plus, which, please, I hope no one did that, because no movie is worth $30 on a streaming service you already pay monthly for. But it looked great. I thought the message was pretty ham-fisted about you need to, trust people and we need to stick together and all that type of stuff, because especially looking at today's current climate, that's hilarious. And it's definitely not like that, but it was a cute movie. Number 10, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Now this was 100% a guilty pleasure. I'm shocked it's in the top 10. If I saw more good movies, it wouldn't be. But I had a blast with this movie. It was more of what I loved from the first one. The dynamic between Venom and Eddie is fantastic. Woody Harrelson doesn't give a crap, and he's going all for it. And I love him for that. And the movie was just great, especially that end credit scene. Like, this movie I had so much fun with. Number 9, Nomadland. The Oscar bait movie of that won Best Picture at this year's Academy Awards was honestly a great movie. I thought it was fantastic how it just basically shows this type of people that, whether it be you can't really get a job and can't really support yourself, you're a veteran who's been disabled from serving. There's many different scenarios that why you become nomad, and I just thought it was kind of crucial to show that these type of people exist and they need help in any way you can. And it just tugs at the heartstrings because you feel bad for these people. And of course, a terrific performance by Frances McDormand. I just thought this was a really great movie. At number 8, we have Demon Slayer the movie, Mugen Train. Now, getting into this show because of a good friend of mine earlier this year, of course, after watching season 1, we had to check out the movie. And I thought the movie was so fantastic. I could see why, because earlier this year when I did work at a movie theater, everyone was crying and freaking out, and it was crowded every showing. I can see why, because this movie delivers on all the goodness that you want from an anime movie. For one, it actually connects to the show, so you're not wasting your time watching it. It actually connects, so you get to get more invested in the story and what they're going through. Another thing, the animation is phenomenal and so good. The fight sequences are great. It's hilarious while being heartbreaking at the same time. It's the whole package. It's such a great movie, guys. At number 7, we have Eternals. Now, Eternals is probably the most controversial Marvel movie to date, given as it's the only Marvel movie that has bad reviews, a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. And it was supposed to be an awards play from Marvel, and that fell flat because that was also directed by the girl who did Nomadland. So, but all things considered, I thought the movie's really underrated in that aspect because I had a great time with it. I loved the grand and epic scope of it. It just felt so unique to the Marvel formula. The entire cast all around was really great. I was enjoying the learn more of the mythology of the Eternals and the world expansion of this. It just felt like such a surreal movie to watch, and I was glad to watch it. At number 6, we have My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. Now, this movie is so fun from beginning to end. I had such a great time with it. I was invested in the story. I loved the new character that they introduced, Rhodey Soul. I thought the villain's motivations and why he's doing what he's doing was so good. It made so much sense. And I just thought this movie was terrific. The fights were great. The animation was great. Everything about it was top notch. My only complaint is that it's not canon with the show. And they keep doing this in these movies. Like, all these anime do this. That's why Demon Slayer got more, for me, because it actually connects. But come on, guys. Don't waste your talent on this if you aren't even going to make it canon. Like, come on. Because they never reference stuff like this when they do it in the movies. Enough of that. At number 5, we have The Suicide Squad 2021. Now, James Gunn back again doing what he does best, making a great epic comic book movie. Because in a lot of ways it's similar to Guardians of the Galaxy except that R-rated. But it just from top to bottom, from the marketing, how it looks, the performances, the action, the story, everything about this movie was pitch perfect for me. It's more of what I love from James Gunn, and I was so glad to be introduced to all these characters, and some of them reinvented, especially like the Joel Kinnaman's character, Rick Flag. A lot of them were fixed for the better because that other movie was horrible. At number 4, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. A fantastic movie, especially at the core. It's a really emotional story about a family, and I just love that type of stuff. And the fight sequences were fantastic. A lot of memorable moments. It has rewatchability value because I've seen it at least 3 times in theaters. And the end credit scenes are great. It introduced like the new characters so well, and I really want to see them again at some point. So it does everything you're supposed to do with the Marvel formula. And I just thought it was a great movie, personally. Just on its own, it was great. At number 3, we have Dune 2021. Now, Dune is this epic, big world, and it just blew me away at the amount of, because I know it's based off a book and stuff, and I hear it's one of the things that influenced Star Wars, which is no small feat. So, to watch this movie with the phenomenal, talented cast, to the just grand and epic scope of the world, and seeing where it goes, and to know that there's going to be a sequel, and so you're really invested to want to come back and see it. This was just such a great movie. It couldn't have done it any better, I feel, when opening up what we just witnessed. At number 2, we have King Richard. Now, every year, I say, you have this one movie that's Oscar baity, but it's a feel-good Oscar baity. That's what this movie is. Because watching this movie, you can tell it's going to get a lot of awards play, because it has great performances, especially from Will Smith. It's a heartwarming, uplifting story of determination, perseverance, doing what you want to do, and believing in yourself. Has a phenomenal score. It's based on a true story. It's really enthralling to watch, and I just thought this movie was magnificent in every way. And at number 1, of course, no surprise, we have Spider-Man: No Way Home. This movie I loved so much for so many reasons. It did everything I wanted it to do and more. The hype around this felt like something from Endgame. I miss that feeling so much, especially in the times we're in. I thought everything about it, the action sequences, the surprises and just secrets that they were able to keep, everything paid off in the perfect way, and the ending's heartbreaking. It makes me sad, but I'm glad we got to witness this movie. It was fantastic. I'm so happy that I was able to see this, and of course it had to be my number one of the year. So with all that said, those are my thoughts on the movies I've seen this year. 2021 ranked worst to first. Did you see any of these movies? Where would you rank them? Please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to hit the subscribe button and the bell as well to get notified on when I upload, that would mean so much to me. Again, thank you all so much for watching this, and I'll catch you all later. Bye!